Hello, race fans, and welcome to the Virginia iRacing League SK Mod 75. This is round 8 for the modifieds, but it's also the playoffs round of 8, race number 2. And boy, they had a beautiful night out here tonight for racing. 78-degree air temperature, winds 4 miles an hour. Track temperature only 78 degrees. Thank you as always for joining us here at Rice Motorsports TV. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you want to know when we go live, just click that notification bell. Looks like they're rolling out onto start their qualifying here. So let's go ahead and look on down here and see who's heading out. Looks like that's Kevin O'Brien making his way out here. So we'll go ahead and roll out with him and see how he does here. Coming around now to take the green flag to start his qualifying run. Comes around now to complete lap number 1. And that is a 22.690. Looking to improve on that lap time. Comes around and completes his qualifying run. He does improve his time to a 22.612. That will be the time to beat. Here goes Danny Knoll making his starting his first timed lap here. Coming around to complete lap number 1. His first lap time will be 22.867. A little over 2/10 off of O'Brien's pole sitting time at the moment. Let's see if he can pick that up. And it was a 22.561, enough to move him up to the pole position. Next up is Benjamin Butler, starting his timed run here. Lap was a 22.363. That put him right up there, up top of the charts. Let's see if he can improve on that lap time here. Coming around to complete his qualifying run. Now, unfortunately, he does not improve. 22.373 was the second time. Oh, and Andy Kosalova, I think he aborted his run. He may go again. Let's see. There's Butler. He's making his way in. Let's see. I think that'll leave Rice will probably end up going out most likely. Koslova, I think, is coming around. He'll get ready for another run. And there's Tony Rice making his way out to go ahead and do his qualifying run here. And the green flag now, his first hot lap. First time lap will be a 22.405. That's Good enough for second fastest at the moment. Oh, and did he touch the wall? I think he might have hit the wall there. So that's going to eliminate his second lap, and he's going to go ahead and pull on in to pit road. Meanwhile, Danny Kosalova is going out now to make his qualifying attempt here. Starting his first hot lap. Time to beat a 22.36 set by Benjamin Butler. First hot lap is 22.392. That's good enough for second place at the moment. Let's see if he can turn it up and grab that pole position. He's only 0.02 of a second off of pole position holder Benjamin Butler. As he crosses the line, unfortunately is unable to improve. That's a 22.755. So that will be where he starts. So as he comes on in, and they'll get ready to have their quick drivers meeting, and we will jump to a commercial break here, and we'll be back shortly. And when they're ready to go racing, you're watching the Virginia iRacing League SK Mod 75 here on Rice Motorsports TV. Okay, folks, we are back, and pace car is rolling off. Field is rolling off now, getting ready to get started here, and making their way out. Tony Rice having some problems there. He actually missed the start, so I think he'll get going before the green flag drops, but he may be like a half a lap down or something like that. But field is coming around here. Lights are out on the pace car. Let's take a quick look at the starting grid. Ben Butler, your pole sitter, Andy Koslova second. Tony Rice would have been starting third. Then Danny Knoll in the fourth position. And Kevin O'Brien rounding out the field in the fifth spot. So Rice, like I said, missed the start of the race, so he will be getting ready to get going here. Once they get ready to go green. The lights are out on the pace car. They should be getting ready to go green this time around. Pace car is in. They're waiting for that green flag. And they got the green, and they are racing here at Lucas Oil Raceway. They're underway now. Butler and Koslova there going at it, and Koslova, it's going to be a bit of a long race, and not too many cars on track, so that also might mean they're going to have to be careful with their tires, because not really sure how that's going to work out. You know, no chance, not far less chance of having a caution, so that means you never know how long it'll be, you know, before they stop, if they do get a chance to stop at all. And Butler, he's holding that lead position pretty good so far. Koslova starting to lose ground just a little bit, 0.3, just about 0.4 of a second. A little further back is Kevin O'Brien, and he's actually 1.5, 1.6 seconds behind Danny Knoll Jr. And there's Tony Rice. He was showing this timing and scoring weird. It showed him 2 laps down, but I guess it gave him back to him when the race started and just put him at the back of the pack, so he's about 4 seconds. Actually, he's about 10 seconds behind the leader. You can see he's in 5th, about like I was saying, about a half a lap behind the leaders. There's Butler. Now he's turned that gap into like just over half a second now, 0.6 ahead of Andy Koslova. They've got quite a bit of a gap between them and third place Kevin O'Brien. O'Brien well over 3 seconds behind Koslova. But he is running pretty free and clear. He's 3 seconds behind them, but 3 seconds ahead of Danny Knoll Jr. O'Brien's comfortably in that 3rd spot. There's Danny right there running 4th. And he's about 3 seconds ahead of the 64, Tony Rice. He missed the start, wasn't able to be right up there with the guy. He probably would have been battling either with, might have been battling with O'Brien, perhaps, maybe, if he had been on pace. He had qualified 3rd fastest, so You would think he would have been right up there somewhere. So kind of a tough break there for the 64. Looks like Koslow was trying to get a little closer to the 61 of Ben Butler there. Lap 11 of 75. Koslow dipping down a little bit of a lower line through a couple of those turns. Still about 4/10, almost half a second now, exactly half a second behind the 61. Still not quite able to get up there, at least not right now anyway. Sometimes when you don't have a large field, it makes it kind of nice because you can really focus on just driving your line and focus on whoever it is you're chasing or whoever it is you're trying to stay in front of, and a few less distractions as far as cars all around you and jockeying for position and whatnot. As O'Brien, he doesn't have anyone to battle right now. And his cushion has grown on both sides, 4 seconds behind Butler and Kosalova, and just about 4 seconds ahead of Danny Noel Jr. there. Danny, his gap ahead of Rice, though, has gone down. It's now 1.8 seconds. Rice trying to close in there just a little bit. That's where Rice is, and there's Butler at the other end of the track. And look at Kosalova starting to close up on the 61 there. Getting very close to Ben Butler there. Kosalova maybe thinking about taking a little peek on the inside there, trying to see if he can drive under the 61. Doesn't have the momentum to really make it in turns 3 and 4. Butler running that high line very efficiently, maintaining his lead ahead of the 93. Oh, Butler tags the wall there just a little bit. Kosalova has to get out of it. Now trying to see if he can take advantage on that high line, see if he can get around. Here they are side by side coming to the line. Kosalova scored the leader that time around. But look at Ben Butler fighting back on the inside. Man, they're really neck and neck here now. Trying his best to hold on, can't quite stay up there with the 93. He may have to give up that battle here. We come out of 4. Still trying to hang on, but now Koslova will move into that first position. Ben Butler's turn to try to see if he can do something with the 93. Oh, and just as I say that, Koslova, he tags the wall himself, loses all kinds of momentum, and the 61 goes right back out front. And they're kind of just trading the lead here right now. Butler had it, lost it, and Koslova lost it. So they're kind of going at it, and they're continuing to battle along. O'Brien, there he is, still running in third, followed by Noel, and Tony Rice starting to get a little bit closer there to the 17 car, and now 0.6 of a second. Butler stabilized his gap to Koslova. Now he's already 0.3 ahead of the 93 at the moment. Rice trying to get a little bit closer if he can. He got to about 0.6 of a second. That seemed like that's about as close as he's been able to get there. Maybe Danny's turned up the wick here a little bit and trying to stay ahead of the 64. While up the front, Benjamin Butler continues to lead. Koslova is pulled up on him once again. Now just under 0.3 of a second. Trying to figure out how he can set that 61 up for a pass. It's going to be lap 30 when they cross the line this time. Trying to find a way around. It's like he'll pull up a little bit in the turns, but then Butler will kind of motor away going down the straights. I think they both kind of capitalized on each other's mistake there earlier. Butler bounced off the wall and he regained control quickly, but Koslova was able to take advantage of that and eventually get in front of him, but then he tagged the wall and Butler was able to recover. Koslova taking a big dive down on the inside. Just didn't have the momentum coming off of 2 to get past the 61. Come around to start lap 34. Koslova was pretty much back where he was, 0.3637 seconds behind the 61. They're battling there. O'Brien continued to go by himself there. Further back now, Danny Noel, he's opened up that gap to Rice there a bit more. Rice is now back to 0.8 of a second behind the 17. Wasn't able to really get any closer than maybe half a second or 0.6 of a second. Different lines, see if we can find something that will work, get them closer up there to Danny Noel Jr. hugging that high line, and it definitely working for him. Able to keep up. It's a longer way around, but he's able to keep up his momentum better. As you do scrub off a bit of speed, running those lines that are 2 or 3 lanes lower. It looks like you're going to close up for a hot second. Oh, Rice tags the wall. That's probably going to cost him a little bit of time, perhaps. Right now, he's still showing just about 0.6 of a second. But those, when you make those lunges down on the inside, it's like a split second of improvement, but then coming out the backside, coming off turn 2 or off turn 4, that's when you really see the time that you actually lost if you dive in too deep. And you can, we've seen people make passes on the inside. You just have to time it just right. You got to pick just the right point where to start your turn in. It may be a late apex or early apex. It just depends on the car and the driver, really. And if they can find that sweet spot to make it work. Now over a second ahead of 64 Tony Rice. And up the front, they are still nose to tail pretty much. Kosilova now less than 0.2 of a second behind the 61. Looked like he was thinking about trying to go for it. Not quite there. He's close. I think that was probably one of his big attempts there to try to get past the 61. It's almost like you got to cool your tires a little bit. Oh, he's blinking a little bit now. We'll lock on Butler here. And Butler's probably happy that's happening behind him. And you can see what's happening there. Kosilova is having some connection issues. Well, he's completely gone right now. I guess there he is. He's still there. And fortunately, nobody's directly behind him and having to deal with that. So he's not really hurting anybody right now by that blinking that way. Now, if he were to get in front of the leader, that could be a little bit of a different story. I think he had said he'd been having some intermittent problems with that here recently, trying to figure out what's going on. And I think it's also costing him some momentum as well. He's messing with his timing going through the turns. Folks are probably telling him, hey, you're blinking a little bit. And now you're thinking about that instead of just focusing on driving. And you can see that's really opened the gap up big time. He might have backed off as well just to see if things will settle down. 0.8 of a second now from the 61 of Ben Butler. Lap 46, we're getting ready to start lap 47 of 75. Laps cranking off rather quickly here. Kevin O'Brien still running in that third spot, nothing to worry about there. Danny Knoll Jr., he's also quite comfortable over a second and a half ahead of the 64 Tony Rice. So the two guys working the hardest are Ben Butler and Andy Kosilova up front. Although Kosilova did, who knows, maybe those connection issues were, messed up his concentration there and focus just a little bit for a few laps, and he's lost the handle on the 61 there, falling back just a bit, just about a second now back from Ben Butler. continues to power along there, trying to make up ground on the 61. Ben Butler, though, he is really turning some good laps, turning some good consistent laps. And it's hard to catch anybody anywhere when the leader is just being plain consistent. I mean, he can be fast, but if you've got the consistency there as well, that's a potent combination. Sometimes you're waiting for a guy to make a mistake, and then that mistake doesn't come, and then you know, like, well, okay, this is going to be might be a little bit of a long night here. 24 laps now remaining. Everybody's gotten a little spread out here. So we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. You're watching the Virginia iRacing SK Mod 75 here at Lucas Oil Raceway on Rice Motorsports TV. Okay, folks, we're back here at the Virginia iRacing League SK Mod 75, round number 8 for the modifieds, race number 2 of the round of 8 in the playoffs here for the Virginia iRacing League. Continue along here. Ben Butler, he continues to lead. He enjoys a 2-second gap now over Andy Kosalova, 14 laps remaining. Kosalova, not much of anything left for Butler at the moment here. And Kevin O'Brien, I'm sorry, running in the third spot. He's had a pretty quiet night all night long. the gap between him, the guys around him, has been between 3 and 4 seconds all night long. So he's had a pretty quiet night. Sometimes that can be a good thing. Just go out and run your race and collect your points and head on to the next one. Danny Knoll Jr. also pretty quiet now. He's 3 seconds ahead of the 64 Tony Rice. Rice had gotten up to just about half a second to the 17, but that only lasted for a handful of laps, and then started losing ground once again. Now just trying to stay on the lead lap. He's 14, over 14 and a half seconds down from the leader. You look on the track map, you see Rice going into turn 1, your leader coming out of turn 4. You got 11 laps to go to make that 10. So he'll be trying to stay ahead of Ben Butler. There's Ben right there. You can't quite see the 64 yet. It's just as he comes out of turn 4, Rice is already going into turn. In fact, he was already halfway through turns 1 and 2, actually coming out of 2. So still a pretty good gap between those two. Rice maintains his pace there. He should be able to finish on the lead lap. Kosilova, meanwhile, that gap is now 3 seconds behind the 61 of Ben Butler. So he's just looking to, pretty much like everybody else right now, just turn your laps and get to the checkered flag here and collect your points and go home. I'm sure there are nights when they wish it would be that easy, but it doesn't always work out that way. They had a pretty exciting race there in the Legends cars earlier today. No telling what the super late models will be like. That might be a relatively small field. Never know. It just depends on who shows up. Same deal with the trucks as well. Now showing 6 to go. That is Butler right in front of Kosilova. You can see him just as he comes onto the straightaway. And that's what that's what almost 3.5 seconds looks like, folks. Butler seemingly on his way to a certain victory here. Shouldn't have any problems. The tires apparently have held up very well. No one has pitted at all. These tires definitely can go the distance here. Car handling very well around the track. Everybody seems to have their own their pace. No similar paces. Kosilova, he was making a race of it there for a while, but he just could not hang with the pace that Butler did. Now, I don't know if he incurred any kind of damage when he tagged the wall there. I thought I just heard somebody tag the wall. I don't know if that was who that was. Doesn't look like it was Danny Knoll. Rice looks okay. O'Brien, he's running along pretty good. So we're now at 2 laps to go. Butler just has to keep that right foot down, keep it turning left. Next time around will be it, folks. White flags in the air. Well and clear of the 93. Kosilova is nowhere to be seen. Making his way in. There's Kosilova at the other end of the backstretch. O'Brien making his way, but as he comes out of turn 4, Ben Butler will cross the line, take the victory here tonight at Lucas Oil Raceway. Ben Butler, your winner here tonight at Lucas Oil Raceway. And as he goes to celebrate his unique celebration style, he hasn't started yet. I think he's lining up for maybe a screenshot here of getting himself ready. Ben Butler, ladies and gentlemen. As he gets ready to do his reverse victory lap here, let's go ahead and take a look at the results. Ben Butler, your winner. Andy Koslova second. Kevin O'Brien third. Danny Knoll fourth position. Tony Rice rounds out the top five. Let's take a look at the points now for the modifieds. Now that we've finished race number 2, and we'll talk about the round of 8 here in a second. But looking at the points for the modified series, Kevin O'Brien is your points leader with Rice only a handful of points behind. Butler a little further distant into third place with Andy Koslova fourth, Troy Daniels fifth, Danny Knoll Jr. sixth, Charles Buchanan seventh, Gene Duda eighth, Ryan Palmer ninth, and Brian Chu rounds out the top 10. Now looking at the round of 8, as we finish up the first 2 races. Tony Rice leads it narrowly. Kevin O'Brien with Ben Butler third, Andy Koslova fourth, Danny Knoll fifth, Brian Chu sixth, Troy Daniels seventh, and Dennis Weeks in the 8th position. Koslova, he's in that cutoff point right now, and mathematically it looks like he would have to have a terrible weekend, and Danny Knoll would have to have he would have to run the table to really be able to mathematically catch him. So, no big mystery to see where the top 4 will, where that will be. But anyway, that's where we are right now. So thank you for joining us as always here for Rice Motorsports TV, and we will see you next time around with the super late models. Have a pleasant evening.